Hello everyone, my name is Michael ITZsharky and welcome back to ITZsharky Arts. Now first things first, I'd like to say I apologize. So many things have been going on in my life these past few months and it hasn't allowed me to create content for this channel. However, I can't say that those conditions will improve, that I'll be able to create more content, but I can say that I'll try and make things better and create content more often. But without further ado, I like to say that I'm trying something different this speed art. Instead of just doing, your standard introduction and playing some music in the background, I'm going to try and commentate essentially my thought process behind this. So basically, the story behind it is I've been streaming classic Tetris on Twitch for around 3 months, and I also met another Twitch streamer and we eventually versed each other. And we just became like undecided that we just became rivals because of how close in skill we are and our potential that either one of us can win. Like, you can't say for sure that AMJ Productions will win or that I will win. And so then we became rivals, and after we established that amongst ourselves, I just like, well, hey, why not I create a special overlay so then whenever we do go up against each other, it's this big huge scene that's dramatic and everything. And after thinking that, I started to get to work on this overlay. Now the names down at the bottom, I derived that kind of style from my channel banner on my main channel. I'm not sure if I have already adjusted my channel banner on this channel yet, but basically I like the style that I did for that text, and so then I was like, you know what, I'm going to use the same font, same style, except for I'm going to change the colors of the glow to how I need it to be. Now, I also decided to add lightning that was red and blue to, add to the dramatic effect of us being rivals. Now, the reason why the colors are red and blue is because most of my equipment and most of my stuff, including my newly acquired gaming chair, is blue, and most of his stuff, including his overlay and stuff, is predominantly red. And so I was like, well, if my stuff is predominantly blue and your stuff is predominantly red, why not do classic red versus blue, even though I like sky blue a little bit better than just regular blue. And so after that, I've cut a mask. Well, I took a picture of myself in profile and I cut a mask out, and then I started to work on incorporating myself into the overlay. And the way that I do this is I put my face on the left side, since that's which my side is, and then I start to try and discover how I'm going to add a blue glow to show that there's kind of like a blue light, or how like I'm a part of the blue side that's going on me. Now, after I do finish this, I actually had to wait around like 5 hours before I can do AMJ's side, and the reason for this is because I was designing this at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, I started at like 3, and then I didn't stop till like it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and because of that, he was already asleep. It was 5 o'clock in the morning for me, and it was 6 o'clock in the morning for him. So I just sent him a message, told him that if you can provide me a picture of you in profile, and send it to me. And he sent it to me, and so then at around 11 today, that's when I actually started to work on his side. But that's basically why I only finished my side first and then finished his. Now with this one, I started to make the Tetris metadata boxes, and technically I already had them, but those were from my just regular versus overlays. And because of that, I wanted to create something that matched. So I made the boxes a little bit differently sized, so that way they could be symmetrical and not take up too much space in the middle. And at the same time, I also started to I changed the color, and I actually changed the style that I did the boxes, which is different than how I started the design with. Because instead of going with a black stroke, I figured it'd be better to try and go for like a blackish, or like a darker of the color that's used as the inner glow. And because of that, I was like, okay, yeah, we can do that. And so after I finished up the level and the next box, I had to move on to the line box. Now, as you guys see, the line box is vertical, and I didn't want to put it at the bottom because that's where the names are. So I had to recreate another line box and do the same style, which it didn't take much time because it's just copying the layer style, and finished that real quickly, and then I took those three, replicated it, and then basically flipped the level, since that's the only one that's, you know, not necessarily even with the rest, and then turned it blue. So then that way we now have, you know, the scoreboard. And I also decided to readjust the hearts, and I think a cool thing about what I'm going to do about the hearts is normally you'd fill the hearts red whenever someone has won the match. So let's say I won the first game, then my heart will become red, but if he won like the second game, then his heart will become red. Well, what I plan to do is I'm going to make it blue whenever I win and red whenever he wins. You know, something, you know, very simplistic, but at the same time, it's something that, you know, is like aesthetic, and I think it's a nice little touch to this overlay. So at around this part of the designing, it's 11 o'clock a.m. now, and I got his profile pic. I skipped the masking simply because Photoshop kept on crashing whenever I was using the select and mask feature. I assume it's because it was running too many calculations on it, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to continue to start and stop this recording, so I'm just going to skip that part entirely. So we imported his head in there. Sounds weird. We imported his head in there, and then we started, you know, add a red glow to simplify that his color is, you know, red and such. And in addition to doing that, we also are going to eventually tilt his head, because if you look, my head is kind of angled down while his is aimed straight forward. And I think that if we were both angled down, that I feel like it'd look nicer. I mean, I feel that technically it could look fine either way, but in my perspective, I wanted it to be angled down a little bit. And because I wanted it to be angled down a little bit, all this work that I'm doing right now, I had to actually undo, because I tried to move the mask and it didn't necessarily go so well. So I had to erase all the hue and saturation properties and then basically start all over. I adjusted his head, and then I also started moving our heads to put us at around eye level. That way, you know, we're still kind of like at the same part, I guess you can say. And once I did this, I started, you know, giving his side of the body the red glow. And once I finished with the red glow, then I moved on to two last final touches, which is the verses and the record. So the verses is just a simple, you know, clipping mask with, you know, blue outline, something very subtle, but I think it looks nice. And then the record, I just did some silver text using the same font as, you know, the ITZsharky and AMJ Productions. And although I didn't record it, I also, on the overlay, is going to have the record of which we have against each other, since, you know, it's rivalry. And yeah, but while this is finishing up, I'd like to say thank you all so much if you made it this far in the video, and even if you didn't, even though you're not going to hear this, thank you all so much for considering to watch this video. If you liked the video and you liked seeing me design this overlay from scratch, then leave a like. Comment down, what do you think about it? Would you want to watch a stream of two people playing classic Tetris against each other in a competitive fashion? Let me know down in the comments below. Share with your friends. Maybe they might not be necessarily interested in Tetris, but maybe they might like to see something cool. Who knows? I mean, I like to see cool stuff all the time, so why not share it with them? Follow me on Instagram at Exalted Mike. That's where I post some graphics work as well as a bunch of other small stuff. And follow me on my art Twitter, ITZsharky. All this stuff is going to be linked down in the description below. And last but not least, while I might not upload videos consistently on this channel, I do try to upload videos that, you know, I'm proud of making. So if you like what you see and you want to see more, why not stick around for a bit? Anyways, my name is Michael, better known as ITZsharky, and I'll see you all next time on ITZsharky Arts.